has been and still is deeply in this work, obviously from all the accolades that you've received. And now you're actually doing this for your entire school community. And that is so admirable. And I know that there are so many folks out there who also feel that resonates with and that they feel the same way. So Maurice, we're obviously in the midst of a pandemic.
Yeah.
Lots of things happening. And so in our conversation around, hey Maurice, how has this experience been for you? Share with us your experience as the executive director of Milwaukee Excellence Charter Schools.
Yeah. This has been difficult, but in all honesty, I feel like the way our school is set up, we are prepared for it. Given we don't know when school will reopen, we don't know when something like this may hit again. And honestly, when we think about making up the lost time, our students are going to need to be able to get online and do some additional work at home if we're going to make all the goals that we set out for ourselves over the next few years. Something that we do that I think it may be different than a lot of other schools, we do wellness checks for every single student. And so they get 2 phone calls each week. And so that's us calling the family and us calling the student to see how they're doing.
Wow.
Yep. And so we're asking questions like, how are you? Is there anything going on at home that we need to know about? Has anyone in your family become sick? Are there ways in which Milwaukee Excellence can help? And I think just by doing this, we've built lots of relationships where, families are comfortable coming to us and asking for things as they need it. And so we're going to continue to do that. And so that will continue throughout the rest of the school year. When I think about what that has led to, and I think I told you this as we prep for this call, we had one student who lost his father during this pandemic. And it wasn't related to the coronavirus. His father had a heart attack in front of him. And,
wow.
He reached out, our student, and, was just asking for help, didn't know what to do, didn't know what to say. And what we did was we started a GoFundMe. We made sure that every leader in our organization gave to it. I think by the end, 65 people raised over $4,000 in 4 days. And so they're not going to have to worry about funeral costs or any other additional costs. And so I think that's the value of the wellness checks, and just making sure that our students that, we love so much that they feel that love, even though we can't physically see them or touch them.
I just want to, Maurice, I want to name something right now in case some of the folks, I think this is important to name. You are the founder and the executive of this charter school, and the fact that you know what is happening on the very front lines with your students speaks volumes of your leadership, and the fact that you're not so high up to where your students, you don't have those contacts with your families. And I just want to kudos to you and encourage any school leaders who are on here. I know that I saw some folks from Florida, from New York, from North Carolina. We have folks from everywhere, from Philly in this call, on this live at chat. And, and I'm sure that many of you are Maurice's story is resonating with many of you, and others, I'm hoping that this is just another idea that you can add to your tool belt to be able to do these wellness checks with your students. So
yeah, and if you all have any questions, please ask. I will answer any question as we go through this. And
sure.
It was just so important for us to also just maintain some, I guess, normalcy throughout this too. And so when it comes to culture, we really think that it's important for us to still have those connections with our students. And so on Tuesday night, we had our first trivia night where everyone could join in. And we had 510 people stop into the trivia night.
510 people. Who were these 510 people? Like parents?
I have no idea. I saw some old college friends join.
Oh, wow. So it was like an entire community.
We put it out to everybody. And so everybody in our school network got it. Everybody in my personal network got the link. And so when the Facebook Live went on, at any given time, we just had so many people who were just so happy to be able to connect with each other. I was telling someone I almost cried just interacting with our students. I guess I didn't know how much I missed that. And just a fun environment where they're making fun of my haircut, my beard. It's just that's how we tease each other. You know, and I make fun of them too, but in a loving way.
Yeah, I
And their
think
mamas are on the chat too, so it's not like I can't say
yeah.
too much.
I think it's so nice to, I think sometimes we also forget, just like, yes, our students need us, but the reality is that so many of us do this work because we do this work for kids, and they are a major part of our lives. And like a lot of that happiness and that us feeling fulfilled comes from like seeing their faces and like seeing them be okay. And so I just appreciate you sharing that as
Of
well.
course. And so we're going to continue to do that. We did a Netflix video, sort of like Netflix and Hang. The day after that, we'll continue to do the trivia every Tuesday this summer. It's just a way for us to continue to connect. And as we think of other things, we'll continue to share them out
Yes.
with our networks. And so if you just follow Milwaukee Excellence, it's at MKE Excellence on all platforms.
So let me put that in here. MKE.
And then Excellence.
Excellence. Is it like I'll just put social media MKE, right?
Yep. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's all at MKE Excellence.
Cool. All right, I just put it in there for us.
Yep, that's it.
Awesome. So Maurice, you've talked about so far just how how adamant you were about ensuring that every kid already had technology. And you have a plan in place for those kids whose technology may not be working. You ensured that the families who did not have access to internet had Spectrum. You set that up for them. You also went into talking about just like relationship building and culture building, which is a lot of questions that school leaders currently have right now, but also leaders outside of education. And we have some leaders from the legal field in here and the medical field who are execs as well. And so you spoke about doing things like building community, like a trivia night, a live Facebook trivia night. That sounds pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to message Maurice for more details on that. The Netflix and chill. And then on the one-on-one basis, those wellness checks where every single student in his school building gets 2 wellness checks, correct, per week. And so that is really awesome, Maurice. Is there anything else that, like something that you feel like you all have done really well during this time that you'd like to share? And if not, then maybe us transitioning into maybe some of the challenges and how you all are navigating that right now.
Yeah, I see our high school principal, Miss Mallet, joined the chat. So if she has anything she'd like to add,
oh yes, please do, Miss Mallet.
Please
Welcome.
feel free to do so, Miss Mallet. Yeah, I think those are the things we do well. I think we've just been really adamant about making sure that every kid has access to everything we put out. And so that there's no barriers. And so we've helped families get their Spectrum, their free account so they can have internet. On Monday, we'll be giving a few families additional Chromebooks that they need. But really, I think those are the things that we're doing well. But there are a ton of challenges, like you said, that I would love to speak about, because I'm sure some people have solutions on here. And I also think some people could really benefit from hearing that another leader is struggling with these same things.
Yeah.
I think where we struggle is just, it's really hard to balance the needs of our families and our teachers all at the same time. And so when you think about the anxiety that a situation like this causes, it's not just the teacher's ability to deliver the lesson, but they have families too. And so we always make sure that we have our virtual team meetings. We always ask, like, hey, how's your family? Is there anything we should know about your family? That's always the first question we ask, because we want to make sure that we're taking care of our own if we're going to ask you to take care of everybody else. And so, we meet every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 and have an org-wide team meeting over Zoom.
Okay.
I think that's, in addition to that, to also go to that piece around how do you build that community with teachers and make sure they feel heard. We do social hours with the teachers too.
Oh, okay. So, can you speak on that a little bit?
Yep. So every 2 weeks we do either like a Wednesday night or Tuesday night, we may do a social event. So the first one, what we did was we ordered food to be delivered to everybody's house in the high school. And so
Okay.
our principal, Miss Mallet, put in 12 Qdoba orders or Chipotle orders to be sent and DoorDash
Oh
to
my
our
gosh. Look
families.
at that. What a great idea. Y'all take notes. Hurry up.
Yeah.
Write this
And for our
down.
middle school, the middle school is a little larger. There's like 30 people in the middle school. We couldn't, that's too many orders to fill.
Right.
So we gave everybody a $25 DoorDash gift card.
Wow.
And so, and we told them, order your food at 4 o'clock so when you get on at 5, we can all share our meals together. And so we were able to eat together, do Pictionary, I don't know, we did,
Wow.
it was a name that office challenge. So everybody took a picture of their home office and we had to guess whose home it was.
Whose home office that is? That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Mine was the easiest one to guess because there's like diapers on the floor. They knew right away. They're like, this is Maurice's house. It's terrible.
Oh my God.
But
Good.
yeah, like we don't know what we don't know, and just thinking about how we sort of build those relationships from being afar. We just have to test stuff, and not everything works. You know, even when I think about the trivia night, we probably could do a better job of marketing and calling families, especially those families who we haven't been able to hear from, to see how do we get them invested. And so, you know, my team has a call at 8:30 that, don't worry, I don't need to be on it, but, you know, they're going to talk about how do we get more people invested and involved, you know, in these kind of social activities, because we don't want people to feel disconnected from the school, because another thing we worry about is retention and kids coming back.
Yeah, that's huge. And a lot, by the way, this is resonating with a lot of people. I love that thumbs up. I love these ideas. So, yeah.
Great. Well, I appreciate it. And, you know, not all of them are mine. A lot of this stuff, we're doing it as a team, or we may have seen another school do something similar, and we just putting a Milwaukee excellence spin on it. And so I'm going to make sure that I give credit to schools like Republic Charter in Tennessee, Purpose Prep, Achievement, Uncommon. You know, we still are their curriculum. We might as well still some of their social stuff too. So
I feel you. That's great. So, Maurice, you spoke about like the challenge around like managing, you know, the needs of students and teachers, and it sounds like you are doing some really intentional things, like the 1 o'clock calls with teachers. Is this, you said it was twice a week at 1 o'clock?
yeah, we have a org-wide meeting.
Okay, org-wide meeting. And what do you typically like cover in those org-wide meetings? Let's just go a little bit more, just zoom in on those meetings, because I think some folks may be also trying to figure out, what do we do during those meetings? Do we go through all these agenda items and all these expectations? How do we balance the wellness? You know, so talk to us a little bit about that.
I think you got to keep it simple. And so the first thing is just shout outs. So everybody in the chat, put a shout out for either a kid or a colleague. And then Miss Borja, who runs our marketing, she's also our math teacher.
Okay.
She posts these each day on Facebook. So then we don't have to think of a new one each day. She has now a bank of 40 every Tuesday and Thursday that she gets. Right after that, the next thing is we just do pandemic updates. So whatever information we get from the governor,
Yep.
I'll share out, and then I'll share out how it relates to the work that we do at Milwaukee Excellence.
Yep.
The next thing is wellness checks. So anything you've learned during a wellness check, any information that is important for the entire org to know, now is the time for us to share out so we can all hear it, so we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
And then we go into updates around grading, lesson plans, and expectations. And so just making sure that everybody has their lesson plans updated and in the spreadsheet, and with also the videos attached. We do require that teachers have 2 videos each week during their intro to new material. So kids can see someone do it and explain it and walk them through it, kind of like our own little Khan Academy.
Right, yeah.
And then we end with whatever sort of we want to do in the upcoming weeks for our spirit. And so whether that's a trivia night that's coming up, whether that's a recruitment event that's going virtual. I think Miss Mallard is doing like a virtual open house on the 20th of April. And so just however we can sort of pump up on Facebook and Instagram and social media, what is we're doing next. And so it's a standing agenda. It's not something that takes a lot of brain power. Just making sure that we're updating it and we're holding people accountable and we're holding ourselves accountable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Maurice, with the, you spoke a little bit about like the instructional piece and like lesson plans and that academic piece, and I know that we're getting ready to kind of close this out in a moment, but can you just speak about like your teachers are required to do 2 videos a day? There are some schools who are also navigating the space. Like, what are the expectations that we set for teachers and families? You know, what is a good balance? There are some schools who have made a schedule Monday through Friday where kids are logged in at and teachers are logged in at 8 a.m. You know, they do like a 45-minute class, they take a break, and then they do another, they pick up another class with all kids,
Yeah.
all students, all families. And so I think this conversation is really, really important to have right now, in terms of like striking that balance. So what does that look
Yeah.
like for you all in terms of like the expectations for of your teachers and of your families around this time?
Yeah. So we erred on the side that it was better to focus on the lesson plans because all of our students as a new school will be returning with us.
Okay.
And so our highest grade is ninth grade, like I talked about earlier. So at the very least, we have 3 more years with every student. At the most, we're going to have 6 years with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about making up time, we have the time. And so
Yeah.
for us, it's not a race against time. You got to get everything in this year. We don't have people who are going to college. We don't have any 12th graders. And so it's really focusing on what can we do now that would keep us all sane, but also prepare us to be successful next year.
Yeah.
And so our teachers are required every other day to produce like a week's worth of lessons. And
Okay.
so on Tuesday, they have to do week 38 lessons. Then on Thursday, they have to do week 1 for next school year's lessons.
Oh,
And so
okay.
then next week after that, on Monday, we'll be due week 2, on Wednesday, week 3, on on Friday, week 4. So Monday, Wednesday,
Gotcha.
Friday, then the next week, Tuesday, Thursday.
Okay. So they're spending a lot of their time on like planning instruction.
Planning and instruction. So, yep, we do not require any Zoom lessons being taught. It's not a structured day. We tried to give them enough work that would fit into a half a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be completely honest, my team gave me feedback. When I first rolled out the calendar, I said, a week's worth of lessons every day, right? So, and I got a lot of phone calls. It's like, man,
Man,
like,
Maurice,
you
don't be killing
tripping,
them
bro.
out there.
Like, Mr. Thomas tripping. I was like, oh snap, sorry.
Yeah.
But and I think that's about like hearing your people. And so when I got the 8 phone calls, I had to hop on the Zoom. When it ain't going right, like, okay, everybody get in the Zoom real quick. All right, what do y'all need? There's like, well, if we did it every other day, we could still get through week 11, for next school year. And I said, okay, that's like into October. I was like, that's great. Like, let's do that.
Yeah.
And so we switched it up. I heard them out, and it was an easy switch. And I think it's going to make sure that they're actually producing dynamic lessons. They're not just rushing to meet the deadline that I set. We have the time to make it up, and I just think that this is going to become part of our new world. So when we go back, I just envision us being able to use weekend classes for ACT prep, after
Yeah.
school online classes. I just think, the fact that we could hop on Instagram and have 10 people here. Teachers, we can do that with our students. I mean, they have the access.
Yeah.
They know how to use Instagram better than we do.
Yes, exactly. So, wow, that's awesome. Maurice, thank you so much for just sharing your experience, sharing your successes, your challenges, just showing up authentically. I know that it has, just based off of some of the feedback that we've been getting in this live ed chat, that it has certainly helped some folks that with them taking away some new ideas to go back to their communities. This will also be posted on our YouTube channel, and then we'll be pushing it out on all of our social media platforms so that, we know that these morning live ed chats, not everyone is available during these times. So we want to make sure that we make this accessible to our global community. So thank you, Maurice. Is there any last things that you want to share with us before we go?
Yeah, I think the last thing is just follow Milwaukee Excellence. So that's that at MKE Excellence. If you want to see us in action, if you have feedback, please feel free to message me. We love feedback, so anything we can improve on or make better, let us know. But you know, good luck out there, and just know that you're not doing this alone. And so if you need someone to talk to, I'm here, and all these people who are in this chat, they're here too.
Yay. All right, you all. You heard it from the man himself, Executive Director Maurice Thomas of Milwaukee Excellence. Go follow them now as soon as we get off this live ed chat. Have a blessed Friday. What's the page called? Milwaukee. Maurice, repeat it one more time. And I'll put it in
It's
here.
Milwaukee Excellence. You can just search Milwaukee Excellence on every social media, but it's at mkeexcellence.org. And I can put it in the chat too.
Yeah. Okay. Seems like it was really helpful. All right. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to post it here. We'll keep it here for a moment. I'm going to pin this. Oh, there we go. MK Excellence. Pin
All right. Appreciate you all. And thank you so much, Noemi. I appreciate you inviting me on.
Absolutely. My pleasure. All right. Kofi Kenny said, you're an amazing leader. Some folks said, thank you so much. All right. Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead and log off. Bye, everyone. Have a good day. Happy Friday.
Bye-bye.